Oi, oi! Hello and welcome to another All My Bets video. I guess I should probably apologise for being a little bit quieter than usual this week. Obviously, it's been Goodwood week, and I think a few of you would have been expecting maybe a few more bet videos to come out, but I just haven't had loads and loads of fancies. I've had a few bets this week. I'm doing okay, but I'm not here to trumpet or to after time because look, we're recording this on Thursday. There's still the rest of Thursday to go. We've got Friday and then Saturday, but I've got a few bets for this Saturday. As per usual, I've done the GG weekend watch, so there will be a link somewhere. I'll put that in the description. You go watch it. If not, just go subscribe to the GG channel. You better watch all my thoughts on there and Andrew's too, and a few races from Kate as well. I'm going to share with you what my bets are in here. So less depth and less detail going in there, but share where we are. 337.50 is going out for this week. Last week's video made a few quid, didn't we? Simmering went in. We got some place money back from Rebels Romance, small place money as well from the Nunthorpe race. But we are where we are, right? It's a long game. You can't necessarily win every single week, even though we'd like to think we can. Now, of the 337.50 I've got here, you were probably expecting to see some sort of sizable bet in there because I do like to throw a few quid at some that I fancy at short prices. But alas, that's not the case. So while I'm happy with my stakes, I'm happy where I'm at, there's going to be a few that I may tweak a little bit. So within that, I'm not so much looking at tweaking the stakes. I don't think I will do that. And the purpose of this video, everything that's staked in there is going to remain. There may be a few that I might cash and put on at bigger prices if they are available. We'll see where we are. There's one that I think I can get a bigger price. At the moment, I can't quite get on, so I'm holding a bet in there. I want to share with you what I've already struck. As I say, I think I can cash and move some. I will trade a few of these as well, but again, is what it is. You're not necessarily here for that. So make sure you like the video. I've been banging a couple of winners and I just like it anyway. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment below of what you fancy this weekend. It's been some good racing at Goodwood. So let me know if you've had any particular highlights. But without further ado, let's crack on with the business. In no particular order, I will just peel some stuff up on the screen. So a few races that will be coming across this Saturday, not necessarily all Goodwood. So you can see here a couple of races from Newmarket. Magic Milds in a nursery handicap, a race that's potentially fraught with danger. I've had 25 each way at 8-1. There are multiple places up for grabs in this race. She quickened nicely from the front last time out. I think she could potentially do the same again. Admittedly, it's a different jockey on board. Safi Osborne takes the ride this time, but I'm happy enough with the horse from the front. I can't see her out the frame, hence why I've bet the each way, and I've bet 25 each way as opposed to maybe a 12.50, which some of you might imagine. LeMay in the 240 Newmarket. This horse was a 2-1 poke when I first started looking at the race. I was semi-tempted by Fairy Glen. That was as big as 9-2. I looked at that and thought, fifth of the odds, first three places, that would have been a real juicy little each-way freebie. But I've sort of gone against it. So this isn't a bet for the sake of betting, but I've put LeMay up on the GG weekend watch. I'm happy enough to have a bet, but this one's 3-1 at the moment. It may be that this horse does continue to drift, and I can cash this one out and get a bit of a bigger price. But I wouldn't be having any more on than that. I'm happy just to sort of bet my opinion in there because I think this horse has proven to be good enough to win a race like this. Probably deserves a race like this as well, for all that she doesn't win that many races. Then we'll move randomly to the 335 at Goodwood. I've got a couple of other bets in here as well we need to talk about. One of them is not on the GG weekend watch, but in the Stewards Cup, like Pura Sangu's handicap debut, he's a few pounds well in. He's been well touted and well thanked by lots of them. You can see, like, I've had 12.50 each way. It's more of an interest bet than anything substantial. It's a minefield, that race. I don't want to be getting overly heavily involved in that. The 225, this actually I put up as my GG weekend watch nap, but it was between this and another one. I'm like equally split on the two of them, although arguably I might actually have preference for the other one. But in Tinzo, too big a price, as big as 20-1. So I've only got the 16s. I would have liked a bit bigger, but again, I might be able to move it about. But there's lines of form with this one between Bagdoor. Bagdoor's gone up a little bit. RPRs for this horse, 103, 102, 103. The favourite in the race, Fairbanks, has done a 105. There's only £2 between them, and there's only £2 difference on their RPRs. Tinzo shouldn't be the price that it is. I quite like this horse. Hasn't quite yet won, or hasn't won on the turf. It hasn't quite fulfilled his promise on the turf, but he's running similarly type numbers. I give it a chance. I definitely don't think it'll be out of the frame. It'll be another one that potentially would be like front running type thing. But the yard I've won it the last twice, I can see it potentially being popular on that angle. Look, I've had 25 each way. I wouldn't be completely and overly crazily bullish on it. Otherwise, I'd be having a bit more on there. But I guess it's a reasonable enough stake, isn't it? Back onto that Stewards Cup. Of course, I bet Summergand. He's terribly short at 20s, isn't he? And yeah, I've only had 6.25 each way because got to bet him, and I stupid, but we are. I've also bet Dark 30 in the race. Now, this horse last won a handicap at Newmarket at 6 furlongs. Back to 6 furlongs now. It's a horse I do quite like. In the past, 20s just looked too big. So this is a bit of a holding type bet where I'm happy to have 12.50 each way on him. I will probably leave this to go. But I just think he's going to shorten. It gives me time to be sat on a position to hold the ticket and then see what I'm going to do after. But like, I give him a bit of a chance. That's 3 in the Stewards Cup, right? Make your own mind up. River of Stars is the one in the 3 o'clock at Goodwood that I do actually really like. This one that was vying for nap status. It's 12 to 1 or 11 to 1 that I bet here. You can get bigger on this horse. I need to try and speak to a couple of people to get the 14s that's available with either Ladbrokes or Hills. But the problem is they're still at the moment only going 3 places. Corals is 1 point bigger, 12 to 1 with 4 places, but at the moment I just can't get them. So I've got the 4 places, 11 to 1 River Stars. I'm relatively happy with that, but this would be one that I'd hope I could potentially move about. I'm doing these bets on Bet365 because I've got the money in there, and you've got the chance to cash and replace on the day, haven't you, for best odds guaranteed. So we are aware of that, but I like this horse. Was second last year after stumbling out the gates. I think this horse will potentially be able to get off the front. And again, there's 4 places up for grabs. I don't see how this horse is out of the frame personally, but obviously anything can happen. So relatively strong fancy, but again, for the amount that I've outlaid, you probably would be thinking there'd be one at a juicy stake. Alas, there is not this week. Final couple of bets. These are ones that are not on the ITV races, but a couple that I have bet. So Bet365 are the first ones to price up. Cuban Tiger, I think, is a really good price, 10 to 1. But started off in handicaps at 99, down to 93 now. It's got form behind Notable Speech and Deity. It's like got good form. I think this horse dropping back to 7 furlongs is exactly what the horse needs. I think it's, again, from an each way perspective, this horse should be right up there, I think, anyway. So I think 10 to 1's a big price. I reckon that one could shorten. Great Chieftain's running today, 5.55, and I've bet him there. He's 40s in the race today. I'd prefer him in this one. He is obviously a lot shorter. I was expecting bigger, if I'm honest, given the fact that he's 40s today. But look, that's again a bit of a holding bet. We'll see what other bookies price things up. Once it has been priced up somewhere else, I'll probably have a bit on. This was one where, you know, I said about stakes, I could maybe move about a little bit. I think the 25 each way is a bit too much on this one, given the price that it is. But like I say, it's a bit of a stakeholder. I wouldn't want to drop down to 12.50 on this one. For the purpose of a video, I didn't really want to go 18.75 each way, which is probably where it should sit. For the sake of 12.50, I'm happy just to stick it on. So we are where we are with that one, and there is a small chance, isn't there, that for whatever reason he runs well today, shortens up into a significant one, and I'd be annoyed if I didn't have the bet on at the price. So bit of a stakeholder, space saver type bet for the time being, but that's where we are with those. Now, look, there's some good racing that's been here. The Shergar Cup next week. I don't think there's going to be a GG week and watch. It's a bit weak on that type of it, but there's still some good racing to come up. We're not getting too far away now. It's 1st of August till the jumps will start cracking on, but they don't really get going until November. So we've got a good few months. Still a good lot of racing that's coming up within here. Obviously, my stakes are my stakes. This is not me suggesting you should copy or do any of that stuff, but I want to share with you how I'm betting so you get a feel of how much I fancy certain ones. So look, I would say looking at these bets from an outsider's perspective and a neutral's perspective, we're taking a few punts this weekend, but of course, we may only need one of them to pay off for a decent draw. If we get a couple of them in, then we could do okay. So it may be a case, maybe instead of potentially outlaying a number of pounds by doing singles, you might want to, I don't know, play some little each way doubles, I think, for the interest of an ITV racing. But look, there's some good stuff on, real competitive racing. Just go steady with your bets. You may have stronger opinions than I do. You may have stronger fancies, but it is a tough one. Even across the week at Goodwood, so far I've probably had 5 bets, I think. A couple of them have been quite short as well. Like they are where they are. So as much as it is a good festival, there's lots of stuff going on. It's not the same as your jumps festival where I'd have as much bullish confidence in the races. So again, it's nice to get involved in these just because it's Goodwood and it's a Saturday. Don't go overboard on start getting too excited. But again, don't let me dull down your opinions if you fancy one. So we'll leave it there. I'll be back again with some more of my bets. I don't think I'll be back next week for it. Near the boys' birthday, I'll be away. So we'll have a bit of a break there. I might peel out some more dog stuff because there's some good racing coming out with them if any of you are interested in that. I know some of you necessarily aren't, but I do bang in winners on the dog, especially the open scene. So maybe I'll try and get a few of you a bit more excited on that. But probably won't see you next week. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Like I say, drop some comments below if there's anything you want to ask or any views or anything, and I'll try to respond to everything that I can. Otherwise, have a very good weekend. Enjoy your August, and I'll probably see you in a couple of weeks.